All right, so welcome back, Elaine, to the Zoom room and the live session. Nice to have you here. So a good chat about the body identification. So let's jump into today's quote, short teaching that'll take us into the lesson. And there's a little bit of manual for teachers to do as well, which is on the question. Section 12 of the Manual for Teachers. Let me just bring it up. So the question is, how many teachers of God are needed to save the world? So we'll consider that. All right, so first, okay, so I'll share my screen. If you can just read the quote. Headline quote for us, finally.
All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. It was all a dream.
Yeah, that's a signpost, sign. So it was all a dream. Well, that's really what Edgar Allan Poe is saying. So 19th century American poet. He was quite tapped in, quite a mystic. He really states the truth succinctly, but I thought it would be good spiritual practice to read and reflect on the full poem that follows. So I think let's do a little meditation on the poem, and I'll just take you straight in from that into the meditation on today's lesson. So just in fact, I think read it first, then we'll do a little med on it. So you read it.
Right. A dream within a dream. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow. You are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away, in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream.
So do you want to pause it there? What do you think he's saying in that stanza?
Well, obviously we're in this dream, and it's just, where are we? Are we in the night or in the day? Or in vision? Is this a dream within a dream?
You deem that my days have been a dream. Okay, so we're not wrong if we think that our days in this world have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? So, often hope seems to go. We face despair. Is it therefore the less gone? So has it really gone? Or maybe he's asking the question, is there hope somewhere else? You won't find hope in the dream, but there's another basis for hope. And the thing with poetry is, it's interpretation. What does he actually mean? That's up to and there's a number of interpretations, because poets suggest, they don't explain. Poetry is not meant to be like prose where you explain it all, and it's like, okay, it's suggestive, so it's up to the reader to interpret. And he says, all that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. So all that we see or seem to be, I think. Again, he hasn't said that. The implication is seem what? All that we see or seem to be in this world, if you can expand it, is but a dream within a dream. All that we see or seem to be is but a dream within a dream. Which is what the Course is saying. It's what mystics have said for thousands of years. All that we see or seem is just this crazy dream.
An illusion, yeah.
An illusion, yeah. A dream, an illusion. What he's stating is not a new idea, but he's just written it, quite beautifully in a poem. All right. So then next, I stand amid the roar.
I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep. While I weep, O God, can I not grasp them with a tight clasp? O God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is it all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream?
So what's he saying in that stanza? I tell you what, read it in the alternative. So I've translated that into our language. Perfect God becomes perfect love. I for we. So read it again.
I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep. While I weep, O perfect love, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? O perfect love, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that I see or seem but a dream within a dream?
Yeah. So what's he saying in that stanza?
Well, he's obviously saying that while we're here on this shore, it's just a torment, even though we're getting some grains of golden sand. But if we go deep, we just want to weep and shout for perfect love, but we cannot grasp it. We try tighter, and it just is pitiless. Is all that I see or seem. Don't quite get that. Is all that I see or seem. Right, so again, it's because it's a dream. What it all seems to be, how we see it.
But what really I seem to be, I think that's what he's referring to. It's at the seeming to be something. All that I see or seem to be in this world is but a dream within a dream. So there's a bigger dream. It's my little dream of my life, my character, my story within the bigger dream of the world. That's what he's saying. My little dream within the bigger dream, which is how the matrix is made up. It's a series of interlocking dreams. It's a shared dream, and everyone has their little dream within the larger dream of the world. And all of those interlocking dreams make up what we call the world.
Yeah.
Quite a construction, really, of the mind. Think about the complexity of the dream and the characters in the dream and all the happenings. And I mean, it's mind-boggling. But this is the complexity of the ego. Invented it all to confuse us completely and delude us into believing that our true awareness has been denied, it's been destroyed, and now that all that's left is the separate identity, the body, and this world. All that's left is the dream. And then there's nothing else to do but to carry on dreaming. When you die, you know, the dream in this world seems to cease, but it hasn't really stopped because the mind is still engaged in dreaming. And so some don't, some hang around as ghosts. They're still dreaming. They're just not, you know, they don't have we call a physical body, but they still have the mental self-image that projects into the dream as that, you know, body in their last life. So they're still dreaming. Ghosts actually have no idea who they are, where they are. So don't think that they're enlightened. They're just lost. They got themselves lost in their dream. They think they're still human, but they're not. And they wander around in the same places, not really knowing that they're not human. They're confused. If you don't come back as a ghost, you reincarnate if you're still confused, because you have to now dream another dream of being human, because that's what your mind tells you is real and what you want. And the only way out is to realize that you're not really dreaming. The dream is false. You're not a dream. And you don't want to carry on dreaming. All that I see or seem is but a dream within a dream. You know, you really understand that. That's enlightenment. What he's pointing to is the awakened state beyond the illusions of time. So, you know, he's talking about the golden sand, the surf tormented shore. It's like, okay, we're tormented. Like, well, the surf just keeps pounding on the shore, pounding, pounding, pounding. So, you know, a reference to the just relentless nature of time and space, and just carries on and carries on, never ceases. And then the golden sand is like, well, you've got sand in your fingers, and it's just running through. We all know that, you know, you can't stop it. It just runs through your hands and it slips away. Well, that's time.
Right.
While I weep. Why? Because I'm attached to the things of the world, and then these things seem to slip away, and I seem to be losing things. You know, as time passes, things start slipping away, and then I weep because I'm attached to them. And so, oh God, can I not grasp them with the tighter clasp? Okay, so the ego says, hold on, you know, you're going to lose these things, grip them even tighter. Can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Question again. You know, it's really asking us to question, well, is it actually possible to hold on? If you clasp things tighter, is that actually going to protect them and secure them? Or is the sand going to slip through your fingers anyway?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Because, you know, the nature of time is that it ultimately kills everything. It's like bang, you know, relentless, and then everything's aging, everything's degrading, everything eventually dies. Can I not save one illusion? And the answer is no, you can't. Because nothing in form will last. That's a fundamental principle we're learning in this course. Nothing in form will last. So why are you attached to anything that you know will not last? Why are you trying to make it last when you know that it's not going to last? Is all that I see or seem but a dream within a dream? So then the second part, it's a question. Is that really the case? Is all that I see or seem just a dream within a dream? Question. But he's already given us the answer in the previous stanza, because he actually states it as a fact first. All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. And then he states it as a question. Okay, so any other thoughts on that?
Well, yeah,
Good
profound
poem.
again. You have to think.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's how you interpret it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, the poets, poets are teachers. Often it's the poets that are, the spiritual ones. Many of them
Mm.
that are teaching through their poetry, and this is no exception. In the beauty of poetry isn't just two short stanzas, not a lot of words. It's a very deep message that's communicated
Mm.
because it's suggestive. It doesn't have to
Very
be like
clever.
fully explanatory. It's imagery, and it's like, okay, you can get a lot from just reading and allowing the Holy Spirit to guide your
Mm.
interpretation of it, as we've just done. Points
Otherwise,
you
if
all
you
out
come
of the
across,
dream.
otherwise, if you, it can come across as a bit abstract. Yeah, you need to sort of look a bit deeper.
Yeah, good poetry. If it's a good poem, the poet is
Mm.
challenging you to go deeper and
Mm.
question,
Mm.
saying, okay, well, I'm not going to explain it all to you because then it wouldn't be poetry. It's like you've got to go figure it out for yourself and
Mhm.
contemplate these words. Let them kind of percolate into your mind and uh, you know ask for the guidance as to how to interpret them. And you might read this poem a number of times and see something different in it
Mhm.
each time. So, okay, I didn't really notice that, or that line stood out to me. Well, okay, I really get what he means when he says, you know, this golden sand is creeping through my fingers. Okay,
Mm.
I understand what he means now. So the sense of time just slipping away, things in time just slipping away from you. We all know that feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, so really good poem. So we could tell you what, let's do the lesson, and then we'll do one med on the poem and the lesson. Shall we do that?
Yep.
Uh, right.
The remembrance. Is that?
Let's look at. Yeah, let me just go into it. Lesson 295. All right. So if you can read the lesson in the original and the alternative kindly.
The Holy Spirit looks through me today. The remembrance of perfect love looks through me today.
Yeah. So the Holy Spirit is just a remembrance of this perfect love, just who and what you really are. You just remember that. It's a remembrance of what you really are, and that is what looks through me today. So it looks on the world through me. In other words, through my awareness, my perception. Remembrance of perfect love perceives the world through me. And the image, is of the lady. I thought it was a lovely image with a light shining in her mind, and then the tranquil water. And it's like, well, that's all. That's symbolizing what's internal, and then from that internal vision, it looks out on the world, and it looks through you, and it perceives, what is within. It perceives the light of pure formless oneness of perfect love. All right. So if you want to read paragraph 1 in the original and the alternative.
Christ asks that he may use my eyes today and thus redeem the world. My true self asks that it may use my eyes today and so free the world. He asks this gift that he may offer peace of mind to me and take away all terror and all pain. It asks this gift so that it may offer peace of mind to me and take away all terror and pain. And as they are removed from me, the dreams that seem to settle on the world are gone. And as they are removed from my mind, the dreams that seem to settle on the world are gone. Redemption must be won. Freedom must be won. As I am saved, the world is saved with me. As I am freed, the world is freed with me. For all of us must be redeemed together. For all of us must be freed together. Fear appears in many different forms, but love is one. Fear appears in many different forms, but love is one.
So then read it in the alternative from the top.
My true self asks that it may use my eyes today and so free the world. It asks this gift so that it may offer peace of mind to me and take away all terror and pain. And as they are removed from my mind, the dreams that seem to settle on the world are gone. Freedom must be won. As I am freed, the world is freed with me. For all of us must be freed together. Fear appears in many different forms, but love is one.
Okay, so what's he saying in this one?
Our true self is asking us to lay our eyes on so that the world is free, and it'll bring the gift of the peace of mind and take away all the fear and terror. And once these are removed, then the dreams settle on the world and they're gone. And this is when freedom comes in. So fear is in many different forms, but love is one. But we all must be freed together. Not just one.
Nice message. Yeah. So it's the same freedom, it's the same love, you know, and as I'm freed, so the world is freed with me, because my freedom is then a symbol for others in the world to follow. You know, so someone like Yeshua, spiritual teachers of this world, are the way shows. Okay, they demonstrate by their freedom, you know, what it is, and people can learn from it. So one person like Yeshua, you know, frees himself, and that frees all of us, because he becomes the way shower. That leads nicely into our question of how many teachers of God are required to save the world. Well, you know, the answer is obvious, isn't it? And we're jumping ahead. We'll get there. But because there's really only one of us here. But it requires someone to really understand that and be the way shower to demonstrate that for the others who don't know, who've forgotten the way, who are lost and confused, still think they're separate and alone in a separate self, in a body. It requires someone who's a way shower to show them the way out of that and point the way back to freedom. So fear appears in many different forms because that's part of the illusion. Many forms, you know, the many is the illusion of multiplicity the ego has created, but love is one. There's only one love, one perfect love, one pure formless awareness of perfect love, one awareness that is shared between all of us. You know, that's the fundamental truth. So it doesn't matter how many different forms the ego invents, love remains as it always has been, as it always will be, as one loving awareness. And there is not more than one awareness. All right, so happy with number one?
Yes.
Number two, say the prayer, original and the alternative.
My Father, Christ has asked a gift of me, and one I give, that it be given me. My source, my true self, has asked a gift of me, and one I give so that it may be given to me. Help me to use the eyes of Christ today, and thus allow the Holy Spirit's love to bless all things which I may look upon, that his forgiving love may rest on me. Help me to use the eyes of my true self today, and allow the remembrance of perfect love to bless all things I perceive, so that its liberating love may rest on me.
Hmm. And then read it in the alternative from the top.
My source, my true self, has asked a gift of me, and one I give so that it may be given to me. Help me to use the eyes of my true self today, and allow the remembrance of perfect love to bless all things I perceive, so that its liberating love may rest on me.
Hmm. So what's he saying in that one?
Well, we ask the source to help us, or our true self, to allow us to remember perfect love to bless all things. Then it'll then come back to me. So we give, then it'll come back to me, the true self.
Hmm. And use the eyes of my true self today. Allow the remembrance of perfect love to bless all things I perceive, so this liberating love may rest on me. So asking to only use the eyes of Christ, the eyes of our true self. If we look at this Holy Trinity diagram, like that. Okay, find it. Where are we? There we go. Holy Trinity. Going back to this. This is the diagram demonstrating the Holy Trinity. The true self, the Christ, perceives correctly. It's Christ's vision. It's lets go of your attachment to all these experiences, people, things, places, events, circumstances, possessions, situations, trauma, successes, failures, or experiences that seem to happen, time and space. It looks on all of those and reminds you of the one simple truth that none of them are true. They're all illusion. That's all we're being asked to do at any point. And that is then the true self and its true perceptions of Christ's vision that are looking on the world and bringing blessing to us. To bless all things I perceive, so as liberating love may rest on me. So our correct perception blesses everything and everyone, and it's love, which is very freeing. When I perceive in this way, then I'm identifying with my true self, the one self that knows that it is love. It knows that it is made up of this pure formless awareness of perfect love. That's its true identity. And it can perceive that love in everyone and everything. So the more I perceive it, the more I'm blessed by this awareness that I am this loving awareness and nothing else. As I perceive, so I confirm that this is my identity. So, this is why perception is so important. You put so much attention on it, because as you perceive, so it is for you. That's what you believe about yourself. That's what you believe about the world. You believe in the ego, then you must believe you're a separate self, and you have a set of beliefs and thoughts and emotions and perceptions that match that. Well, I'm a separate self, therefore I feel unworthy because I've actually denied my true self. So there's an unworthiness at the core of it. I'm unworthy of love, ultimately, and that causes a whole load of dysfunctional thoughts. We then have thoughts that are not loving, not kind to ourselves or others, and emotions that are not loving and kind, and that influences all of our perceptions. Now we have unloving, unkind perceptions of everyone and everything, and all of that perpetuates the construct of the ego, the false self that believes it's separate from love, and its whole illusory belief system, thoughts, emotions, and perceptions that lie on top of that. And this is saying, we can change. We can let it go. The true self perceives all of this as false. There are no perceptions. All of your emotions about the apparent perceptions are not real either, because the perceptions aren't really there. So your thoughts actually are you thinking about nothing, you believing falsely, and it all comes from a false desire to be a separate self, which is not a true desire. It's not a real desire at all. And so you unwind from the whole dream. And this looks through you. Moments of perfect love looks through me today. So he's talking about this being in this state of mind, the Christ self, being really rooted in this awareness, and then the Holy Spirit, which is just the ability to reinterpret from the perspective of perfect oneness, that is now perceiving everything for you. So you're really engaged in this. You're on this blue line, the arrow, going one way or another all the time. You're pulling things up, seeing them correctly, then you take them back down into the perceptual realm, but you perceive them differently. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Again, but just another reminder of the Holy Trinity, this whole thought system, and I think the diagrams just make it more explicit as to what's really what the teachings are saying. Okay, so we can do a meditation now on the poem, and then that'll lead us into the lesson. We'll meditate on the lesson as well. How's that sound?
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
All right, and then it'll take us, say, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Do you want to continue, or just see how much learning for teachers we have? So that's 4 paragraphs. 5.
Well, hopefully John might join, mightn't he? With a bit of luck, John will join.
6 paragraphs. Okay.
Do you think John will join?
It'll probably take us over an hour to do. I don't think so, because it is Monday night.
Oh, it's band night. Yeah, because I'm obviously very interested in this one, particularly this. But of course, I'm going to have to do some input, really. And then, of course, I'm preparing to get the place sorted ready for Dave tomorrow. So is it possible to do it tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow we move on to the next section.
Oh, I see.
Moving swiftly on. It's one a day. So we could do some of it now instead of the meditation, if you like.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, yeah. Because this one's, it's new.
All right, so let's just... Okay, so this is section 12 of the Manual for Teachers that asks and answers another question. How many teachers of God are needed to save the world? Alternatively, how many teachers of perfect love? How many teachers of perfect love are needed to save the world? And the answer should be obvious. But you should tell us what his answer is to this. Okay, so many teachers of perfect love. No, that's control. Okay. All right, so if you can read that in the...
How many teachers of God are needed to save the world? How many teachers of perfect love are needed to save the world?
Maybe instead of save the world, we can make it
Yeah.
be the world.
Yeah.
Because saving the world can be a bit, well, what does he actually mean by saving the world?
Yeah, it frees
You're trying to preserve it. You're not really trying to preserve the world, are you? Saving the world means you're actually trying to free people's minds, everyone's mind, from believing that they're in the world. That's what saving the world really means. Okay, so we said that. Let's go to number 1. So the answer to this question is...
yeah, the answer to this question is 1. The answer to this question is 1. One holy, perfect teacher whose learning is complete suffices. One holy, perfect learner whose...
Sorry, let me fix this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Original. So it's in American punctuation, they got this thing called an M dash. See, it's this long dash, and there's no spaces. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
I don't really
yeah,
get
I've
it. Why
seen
would you
that.
put some spaces? But that's how they do it. So I've just translated it as is answer to this question is, and then colon 1. Only one teacher of God is required. So one holy, perfect teacher
whose learning is complete suffices. This one, sanctified and redeemed, becomes the self who is the Son of God. This one, sanctified and redeemed, becomes the self, is the extension of pure formless awareness of perfect love. He who was always Holy Spirit now no longer sees himself as a body or even as in a body. I, who was always pure formless awareness, no longer sees myself as a body or even as in a body. Therefore, he is limitless. Therefore, I am limitless. And being limitless, his thoughts are joined with God's forever and ever. I have to lift that up here. And being limitless, my thoughts are joined with perfect love's forever and ever.
Let's say eternally, shall we? Eternally.
Yeah. His perception of himself is based upon God's judgment, not his own. My perception of myself is based on perfect love's judgment, not my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thus, does he share God's will and bring his thoughts to still deluded minds? In this way, I share perfect love's will and bring its awareness to still deluded minds.
Let's share I share pure formless awareness of perfect love, because God's will is really just this awareness. We translate will as awareness because it's this higher awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love, and nothing else is the will of God. So I share pure formless awareness of perfect love and bring its awareness to still deluded minds that have denied that awareness. Okay.
I have accepted my true self and I am saved. He has accepted Christ and he is saved.
Yeah, I'm forever one. I think you skipped this one. I'm forever one because I am as...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I am forever one because I am as perfect love extends me. I have accepted my true self and I am saved.
And I'm free, shall we say. Okay, so read that from the top in the alternative.
The answer to this
Okay.
question is one. One wholly perfect teacher whose learning is complete suffices. This one, sanctified and redeemed, becomes the self, who is the extension of perfect love. I, who was always pure formless awareness, now no longer perceive myself as a body or even as in a body. Therefore, I am limitless. And being limitless, my awareness are joined with perfect loves in eternally. My perception of my...
So I just fixed that. It was just an error. My awareness is joined. So instead of God's will and his thoughts, we're talking about awareness. My awareness is joined with perfect loves eternally.
Yeah. My perception of myself is based upon perfect love's judgment, not my own. In this way, I share my pure formless awareness of perfect love and bring its awareness to still deluded minds. I am forever one because I am as perfect love extends me. I have accepted my true self and I am free.
Yeah, nice. Accepted my true self and I'm free in that self. My perception, my awareness is limitless when I'm identified with that true self. Okay, so what else is he saying in number one?
Well, if I accept my pure formless awareness, I then no longer perceive myself as a body or in a body. So therefore, I am limitless. And being limitless, my awareness will join with perfect loves eternally. And my perception of myself is based on perfect love's judgment, not my own. So therefore, I bring this awareness to the still deluded minds because I am forever one. As perfect love extends me, I have accepted my true self, and there we are, we're free. Sounds so simple, but yeah.
It's conceptually simple, but living in a dream world where you've identified with a false self and a body that's not real and all these characters, it requires a lot of mind training, a lot of discipline to remind yourself that I'm just this true transcendent self, and I'm not a body. I'm not any of these things that I've identified with. Okay, so happy with that. Let's go to number two then.
Thus does the Son of Man become the Son of God. So does the Son of Man become the extension of perfect love. It is not really a change, it is a change of mind. It is not really a change, it's a change of mind. Nothing external alters, but everything internal now reflects only the love of God. Nothing external alters, but everything internal now reflects only the pure formless awareness of perfect love. God can no longer be feared, for the mind sees no cause for punishment. Pure formless awareness of perfect love can no longer be feared, for the mind perceives no cause for punishment anymore. God's teachers appear to be many, for that is what is the world's need. Perfect love's teachers appear to be many, for that is what is the world's need. Yet being joined in one purpose and one they share with God, how could they be separated from each other? Yet being joined in one purpose and one they share with pure formless awareness of perfect love, how could they be separate from each other? What does it matter if they then appear in many forms? What does it matter if they then appear in many forms? Their minds are one, their joining is complete. Their minds are one, their joining is complete. And God works through them now as one, for that is what they are. And the pure formless awareness of perfect love works through them now as one, for that is what they are.
And then read in the alternative from the top.
Yeah. So does the Son of Man become the extension of perfect love. It is not really a change, it is a change of mind. Nothing external alters, but everything internal now reflects only the pure formless of perfect love. I can no longer fear pure formless awareness of perfect love, for my mind perceives no cause for punishment anymore. Perfect love's teachers appear to be many, for that is the world's need. Yet being joined in one purpose and one they share with pure formless awareness of perfect love, how could they be separate from each other? What does it matter if they then appear in many forms? Their minds are one, their joining is complete, and the pure formless awareness of perfect love works through them now as one, for that is what they are.
Okay, so what's he saying in this one?
The Son of Man becomes. So all of this it's not a change, it's only a change of mind. So nothing external changes, it's only internal, which will reflect this pure formless awareness of perfect love. So I don't need to fear it, because my mind sees no cause for punishment anymore. So there's many teachers of perfect love, and this is what the world needs. Yet being joined in one purpose, they share with purpose from the. How can they be separate from? So we're just saying that how can they be separate when it's all just one? So it doesn't matter whether they come in varying forms. The minds are one, and the joining is complete. Yeah.
They share in one purpose.
Yeah.
So there's really only one teacher, just taking many forms. The teacher is the true self and the Holy Spirit. And that takes many forms. That comes into the minds of different teachers who seem to be different on the level of form, have different bodies, different personal identities, backgrounds, histories, so on. But there's really only one teacher that's teaching through all of it, because it's one mind that's teaching through all of it. The joining is complete. And now the pure formless awareness perfect love works through them now as one, for that is what they are. So if we're truly in agreement, if people are really inspired by the Holy Spirit, then there can be no disagreement, because it's the same mind that's teaching. People might have their different ways of putting things and different styles, but there's really only one awareness, one mind, one thought system, one teaching that's coming through all the teachers of perfect love. Okay. There's number 2. Should we go to number 3?
Why is the illusion of many necessary? Why is the illusion of many necessary? Only because reality is not understandable to the deluded. Only because reality is not understandable to the deluded. Only very few can hear God's voice at all, and even if they cannot communicate his messages directly through the Spirit which gave them. Only very few can hear the voice of perfect love at all, and even if they cannot communicate its message directly through the awareness which gave them. They need medium through which communication becomes possible to those who do not realize that they are spirit. They need a medium through which communication becomes possible to those who do not realize they are spirit.
Yeah, so spirit is pure formless awareness in our translated language. So they are just that pure formless awareness, and I've forgotten it.
The body they can see. The body they can see. The voice they understand and listen to without the fear that truth would encounter them. The voice they understand and listen to without the fear that truth would encounter in them. Do not forget that truth can come only where it is welcomed without fear. Do not forget that truth can come only where it is welcomed without fear. So do God's teachers need a body, or their unity could not be recognized directly? So do the perfect love's teachers need a body, or their unity could not be recognized directly?
Okay, so read that.
Why is the illusion of many Why is the illusion of many necessary? Only because reality is not understandable to the deluded. Only very few hear the voice of perfect love at all, and even they cannot communicate its message directly through the pure formless awareness which gave them. They need a medium through which communication becomes possible to those who do not realize they are pure formless awareness, a body they can see, a voice they understand and listen to, without the fear that truth would encounter in them. I will not forget that truth can come only where it is welcomed without fear. Therefore, perfect love's teachers need a body where their unity cannot be recognized directly.
Yeah, so what's he saying in this one?
Well, illusions for many are necessary because reality is not understandable to the deluded. Very few people hear the voice of perfect love at all, and even they cannot communicate messages directly through the pure formless awareness which was given to them. So they need a medium through which communication becomes possible. So truth can come only when it is welcomed without fear. So therefore, perfect love's teachers do need a body.
The unity cannot be recognized directly. So in this world, it's it's helpful. You've got a body. People who are deluded can still talk to you. Okay, well, you're not some freaky way out entity or presence. I can speak to you. You're a human being. I can listen to your voice. I can feel your presence and so on. And that helps the spirit to communicate to those minds and teach them the way out of the dream. And if I didn't have a body, I couldn't teach this course, could I? I couldn't. You can't type emails or text messages. You can't speak. You can't be on video. You can't fulfill a teaching role really. So the Holy Spirit, which is incorporeal, has no form, needs the form of the teachers of perfect love to express itself through. And then that becomes their appointed role in the dream. While they're here, while they seem to have a body and they still seem to be in the world, that's their function, to be teachers of this perfect love and awakening themselves. As you teach it, you learn it more and more. The more I teach it, the more convinced I become of the truth, because that's how it works. You can't teach this for hours and hours and hours and not start to have conviction in the ideas with which you teach. It would be impossible not to. So you're really teaching yourself in the process. But your own awakening then, helps others because you're teaching them as well. And really, it's just one mind waking itself up, teaching itself. You see it? Because we're all the same mind. It's just that mind going through this process of awakening. And one part of that mind might seem to know a bit more temporarily than another part. But then when, that knowledge gets shared, then the mind gets equalized and they come into the same awareness, which should be the goal of every true teacher of God. It's not to be anything different or special from anyone else. It's actually to merge with everyone. I just want to be one with everyone and teach them what I know, so they come to the same understanding. That's why Yeshua said, you shall do these things that I've done and even greater things, because I'm nothing special. We're actually the same. And my job, any true teacher of perfect love, is to help people to realize the simple truth that they are the same. Everyone's the same, including the teachers. Everyone's actually got the same awareness and the same identity. It's only one self. It's only one of us here. So it's an absolutely equal. And equality implies the sameness and no difference. No differences of unity, doesn't it? But as soon as there's differences, then we're unequal, because the differences make us unequal. All right. Anything else on that one? Number 3.
That's good.
It's making sense.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so move on swiftly on then to number 4.
Yet what makes God's teachers in their recognition of the proper purpose of the body? Yet what makes the perfect love's teachers in their recognition of the proper purpose of the body? As they advance in their profession, they become more and more certain that the body's function is but to let God's voice speak through it to human ears. As they advance in their calling, they become more and more certain that the body's function is but to let the voice of perfect love speak through it to human ears. And these ears will carry to the mind of the hearer messages they are not of this world, and the mind will understand because of their source. Lift that up.
Yeah. Let his voice, perfect love's voice, speak through it to human ears.
From this understanding will come the recognition in the new teacher, the pure form of science of perfect love, of what the body's purpose really is for it. This lesson is enough to let the thought of unity come in, and what is one is recognized as one. This lesson is enough to let the thought of unity come in, and what is one is recognized as one. The teacher of a God appears to share the illusion of separation, but because... Where have I gone?
Right? You want
The teacher appeared to share illusion of separation, but because of what they use the body for, they do not believe in the illusion despite appearances. The teachers of perfect love appear to share the illusion of separation, but because of what they use the body for, they do not believe in the illusion despite appearances.
Okay, so read that from the top in the alternative.
Yet what makes perfect love's teachers is their recognition of the proper purpose of the body. As they advance their calling, they become more and more certain that the body's function is only to let perfect love's voice speak through it to human ears. All these ears will carry to the mind of the hearer messages they are not of this world, and the mind will understand because of their source. From this understanding will come the recognition in the new teacher of perfect love of what the body's purpose really is, the only use there really is for it. This lesson is enough to let the thought of unity come in, and what is one is recognized as one. The teacher of perfect love appear to share the illusion of separation, but because of what they use their bodies for, they do not believe the illusion despite appearances. So it's about the perfect love's teacher's recognition of the body. So as they advance in their calling, they become much more confident in their body's function is only for the perfect love's voice through the human ears, and the ears will carry messages that are not of the world. It's messages from their source.
Yeah,
So
and I think the key thing is it's a reinterpretation of the body. You know, the body is for, it's a communication device. It's for communicating the truth. That's what the body is. It's its true purpose for is so that the teachers of perfect love know that, and they live that function, and they let the body be used for its proper function. And if they do that, then the body will be healthy. It doesn't age as fast, and because it's fulfilling its true function, and it's not being given to false purposes, like seeking pleasure, punishing itself, causing itself pain and suffering, sickness and death. These are all false purposes that the mind uses the body for under the ego's direction. But if you truly are inspired in the spirit, then and the body is being used for what it's for, then Yeshua says your health is guaranteed. You don't need to worry about that, because the body will be a healthy, serviceable instrument, I think he puts it, in the service of the Holy Spirit for a while until you're done with it, and then you just lay it aside. You don't need to be sick. You don't need to age. So some of the masters, they just lay their body aside. Then, okay, it's time to go. Yogananda was an example. He just said, okay, he was only in his 50s. He just said, okay, so, I'm going. Told his disciples, 2 weeks, I'm out of here. And he had a heart attack, but that was, he knew already. So it was like, well, that was just the mechanism of, the body, of letting go of the body. But he'd already decided that his time was done. He'd done what he needed to do. Time to move on. So the teachers just know that what the purpose is. They use their body for what that purpose is, and then the body is healthy, functional, serviceable. It doesn't seem to age as quickly. It seems to be more robust, healthy, resilient, all those things, because it's inspired and it's got this divine, life essence and energy flowing through it. As because you benefit when it comes through you. It's like this, the well of life, the well springs of life springing out. Then if those living waters, as you should call them, are flowing through you, that enlivens you. You benefit from it, and so the body stays healthy, younger, more vital, because it that fulfills its purpose more. As my own experience has been, well, it can do a lot if you dedicate it to the right purpose. I can do things that other people go, what? How do you do that? Just do an all-nighter of working, and I'm still, as long as I get a few hours sleep, I'm reasonably fresh. I'm okay. Some people are like, that's just couldn't do that. I'll be wiped out the next day, and it'll take me 2 days to recover. But it's the purpose that it's being done for that gives you the power to do it. There's no doubt. So the teachers of perfect love are given these, powers, or siddhis, as they're called in the East, because they need them to teach the message, and that's their only true use. There's no, oh well, I'm so special because I've got this power. It's just it's useful. It's helpful in communicating the message and being an effective teacher. Okay. You okay to move on to number 5, Elaine?
Yep.
All right. Central lesson.
The central lesson is always this, that what you use the body for, it will become to you. The central lesson is always this, that what you use the body for, it will become to you. Use it for sin or for attack, which is the same as sin, as you will see it is as sinful. See it as sinful. Use it for sin or for attack, which is the same as sin, and I will perceive it as sinful. Because it is sinful, it is weak, and being weak, it suffers and it dies. Because it is sinful, it is weak, and being weak, it suffers and it dies. Use it to bring the word of God to those who have not, and the body becomes holy. Use it to bring the message of pure formless awareness of perfect love to those who have it not, and the body becomes holy. Because it is holy, it cannot be sick and nor can it die. Because it is innocent, it cannot be sick, nor can it die. When its usefulness is done, it is laid by, and that is all. Because it is innocent, it cannot be sick. when its usefulness is done, it is let go of, and that is all. The mind makes this decision, and it makes all decisions that are responsible for the body's condition. The mind makes this decision, as it makes all decisions that are responsible for the body's condition. Yet the teacher of God does not make this decision alone. Yet the teacher of perfect love does not make this decision alone. To do that would be to give the body another purpose from the one that keeps it holy. To do that would be to give the body another purpose from the one that keeps it pure. God's voice will tell him when he has fulfilled his role, just as it tells him what his function is. The voice of perfect love will tell them when he has fulfilled his role, just as it tells him what his function is. He does not suffer either in going or remaining. He does not suffer either in going or remaining. Sickness is now impossible to him. Sickness is now impossible to him.
Okay, just read that from the top in the alternative.
The central lesson is always this, that what I use the body for, it will become to me. If I use it for sin or attack, which is the same as sin, and I will perceive it as sinful. Because it is sinful, it is weak, and being weak, it suffers and it dies. For I use it to bring the message of perfect love to those who do not have it, and the body becomes pure. Because it is innocent, it cannot be sick, nor can it die. When its usefulness is done, it is let go of, and that is all. The mind makes this decision, as it makes all decisions that are responsible to the body's condition. Yet the teacher of perfect love does not make this decision pure. The voice of perfect love will tell them when they have fulfilled their role.
You skipped a line.
Oh.
The teacher of perfect love does not make this decision
yes.
alone.
Yet the teacher of perfect love does not make this decision alone. To do that would be to give the body another purpose from the one that keeps it pure. The voice of perfect love will tell them when they have fulfilled their role, just as it tells them what their function is. They do not suffer either in going or remaining. Sickness is now impossible to them.
For them, maybe. Okay, so what's he saying in this one? Summary.
The main lesson is the use of the body. If you use it for sin and attack, it will perceive sinful, but sinful is weak and suffers and dies. But if I use it for perfect love, then the body becomes pure, and it's innocent, and it cannot be sick, and it cannot die. And once its usefulness is done, it can let go of. That's it. That's all it is. It's no big deal.
Yeah, well, the body will ultimately, not be. So the body will die, be laid aside. But there's no suffering in any of that. They do not suffer either in going or remaining, because they're already in heaven. I'm already awakened, and it doesn't really matter if I'm in a body or not. When Ramana Maharshi, who's an enlightened Indian sage, was dying of cancer, all his disciples were, quite sad because they were still attached to the human form. And he said to him, "But I'm not going anywhere. I'm not really going anywhere. Whether I'm in a body or not doesn't really matter. I will still be me. My mind will actually be the same, unaffected, whether I'm corporeal or incorporeal. So have you learned nothing from my teaching? I've taught you my entire life that you're not a body, and yet you still reacting to me as though I'm a body." So it didn't really bother him. It's like, well, whether I stay or I go, this is just the cancer that his body had was his exit. So okay, well, this is just how the body's going to be laid aside, and my mind is going to be freed from it. And so there's, so even though his body was sick, he was not sick in his mind. It really didn't bother him. He remained in his state of moksha, which is a samadhi type state of bliss, the whole time, pretty much. So what was happening in the body didn't really bother him. So this is what he's pointing to. The body will just be a useful tool. And as he says, the mind makes this decision. When its usefulness is done, it is let go of, and that is all. The mind makes this decision, as it makes all decisions that are responsible for the body's conditions. Right? So you think death just happens to you, but actually the mind chooses death, as it chooses everything. It just doesn't seem to be that way. Yet he does not make this decision alone. The voice of perfect love will tell them when they've fulfilled their role, just as it tells them what their function is. So often his masters take Yeshua. He knew he had to leave. That was his time. He had a short ministry. That was his appointed role. And then he actually needed to leave. And that was what was helpful for the at-one-ment plan. So he did. And the crucifixion was, the means. It was his final lesson in his life, and also his final, master teaching of forgiveness in the face of this, really one of the most awful things that can possibly happen to you as a human being. And yet he forgave it. So it was used as his final teaching. But that was his exit, because he realized it wasn't helpful for him to continue. He delivered his teachings, and his disciples wouldn't, if he was still around, they would hang on because they were so attached to him. They would carry on, hanging around Israel and to be with him. And what he wanted them to do was to disperse and go and take the message elsewhere to all the known world, which they did. They went all over the place to the known world, much of the Middle East and Europe. The disciples visited, and they started groups there of believers. They told the story of Yeshua. They spread his teachings, and that's how Christianity started and spread. All right. So, any other thoughts on number 5?
No, that's clear.
All right. Last paragraph.
Yeah. Oneness and sickness cannot coexist. Oneness and sickness cannot coexist. God's teachers choose to look on dreams a while. The teachers of perfect love choose to look on dreams a while. It's a conscious choice. It's a conscious choice. For they have learned that all choices are made consciously with full awareness of their consequences. For they have learned that all choices are made consciously with full awareness of their consequences. The dream says otherwise, but who would put this faith in dreams once they recognize for what they are? The dreams say otherwise, but who would put his faith in dreams once they are recognized for what they are? Awareness of dreaming is the real function of God's teachers. Awareness of dreaming is the real function of the perfect love's teachers. They watch the dream figures come and go, shift and change, suffer and die. They watch the dream figures come and go, shift and change, suffer and die. Yet they are not deceived by what they see. Yet they are not deceived by what they see. They recognize that to behold a dream figure as sick and separate is no more real than to regard it as healthy and beautiful. Yet they are not deceived by what they see. They recognize that to behold a dream figure as sick and separate is no more real than to regard it as healthy and beautiful. Unity alone is not a thing of dreams. Unity alone is not a thing of dreams. And it is this God's teacher's knowledge as behind the dream, beyond all seeming and yet surely theirs. And it is this the teachers of perfect love acknowledge as behind the dream, beyond all seeming and yet surely theirs.
Okay, so read that from the top in the alternative.
Oneness and sickness cannot coexist. Perfect love's teachers choose to perceive dreams a while. It's a conscious choice, for they have learned that all choices are made consciously, with full awareness of their consequences. The dream says otherwise, but who would put their faith in dreams once they have recognized them for what they are? Awareness of dreaming is the real function of perfect love's teachers. They watch the dream figures come and go, shift and change, suffer and die. Yet they are not deceived by what they see. They recognize that to behold a dream figure as sick and separate is no more real than to regard it as healthy and beautiful. Unity alone is not a thing of dreams, and it is this the teachers of perfect love acknowledge as behind the dream, beyond all seeming yet surely theirs.
Yeah, very, very interesting, because this ties up beautifully with the poem, doesn't it? Beyond, it's really talking about dreams and overcoming the dream and going beyond all seeming. And that's totally, synchronistic. It just happened to be. I chose that primarily because of the lesson, actually, not because of the text. But this text syncs up with it nicely as well. So what's he saying in the?
Well, oneness and sickness can't coexist, and the perfect love's teachers can perceive the dream for a while, but it is a conscious choice. They do realize that all choices are made consciously, with full awareness and of their consequences. But who would put their faith in dreams once they've recognized who they truly are? So awareness of dreaming is the real function of perfect love's teachers. So they're watching these figures shift and change and suffer and die, but they're not deceived by any of it. They see it as a dream, and that sick and separation is no more real than healthy and beautiful. Unity alone is not the thing of dreams. So the teachers of perfect love acknowledge this behind the dream and beyond all seeming and yet surely theirs. Yeah. So they're on their way. Perfect Love's teachers are opening up to the fact that there's it's all a dream.
Oh, they can just watch that,
Yeah.
calmly with detachment. They watch these figures come and go. They watch the suffering and the dying that are inevitably part of this world, but they are not fooled by any of it.
Mm.
They don't see it as any of it as real. So they see only the unity that lies beyond it all, which is pure formless awareness of perfect love. And in that they rest. They rest in peace. They rest secure because they know that that never changes. It's unshakable. It's unchangeable despite all these appearances. And that's where their certainty and their peace, their security, their love, their happiness, joy, it all comes from resting in something that's eternal, that doesn't change. So simple, really. Such a simple idea. But to stay in that state, in the face of all the illusions of the world, is the trick.
Mm.
That's the enlightened state, which does require a lot of training
It
because
does.
your ego mind has run amok for years and it's in control.
Mm.
And it tells you, oh, no, 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 the world is very real and it's very important that you react to it. And it's very scary, or it's very desirable, or it's very um, fearful, or it's very frustrating, or it's got all kinds of judgments on it that make it real. And it's telling you that all the time. And so the discipline becomes, I've got to lay that aside, rise above it, and see that it's all the same. Whether it seems to be frustrating in this point in the dream, or I seem to be fearful, or I'm very angry, or whatever the thought, feeling, and emotion is, it's all the same. It's all just an illusion. So why am I reacting to the illusion as if it's true? Well, indeed, when you really understand, you wouldn't. Okay, so any other thoughts on that number 6?
That's good. Mm-hmm.
All right. It's a bit of a summary if you want to read that. Can do that. I know you said you wanted to go, so read that very
Yeah, I do.
quickly,
Yeah,
and then we call it a night.
great. Okay. In my understanding, the essence of spiritual journey is rooted in the realization of oneness. As a single, holy, perfect learner whose education is complete, I represent the sanctified and redeemed self, becoming the extension of perfect love, having always been wholly pure, formless awareness. I no longer perceive myself as a body or confined within one. The acknowledgement renders me limitless, and my thoughts eternally intertwine with those of pure formless awareness of perfect love. This transformation isn't just a change, but rather a shift in mindset. Externally, nothing alters, but internally, everything begins to reflect only the pure formless awareness of perfect love. This profound internal change dissolves my fear of perfect love, as I no longer see my cause for punishment. While the teachers of perfect love may seem numerous, catering to the world's needs, their unity in purpose and shared connection with pure formless awareness of perfect love affirm their inseparability. The illusion of multiplicity is necessary only because the deluded cannot grasp reality. A medium like the body is required for communication with those who do not realize their spiritual essence. As a teacher of perfect love, I recognize the body's true purpose to serve as a conduit for its voice, delivering messages beyond the worldly realm. This understanding redefines my perception of the body's role, leading to a recognition of oneness. The central lesson I've learned is that the body's purpose is determined by how it is used. Using it for sin or attack leads to a perception of as sinful and weak. Conversely, using it to convey the message of perfect love sanctifies it, rendering it impervious to sickness and death. In this role, I am guided by the voice of perfect love, not suffering in my journey, for sickness becomes an impossibility. Oneness and sickness cannot coexist. As a teacher of perfect love, I consciously choose to observe the world of dreams, fully aware of their illusory nature, understanding that beholding a dream figure as sick or separate is as unreal as seeing it as healthy and beautiful. I recognize that true unity transcends these dreams. This unity, upheld by the teachers of perfect love, exists beyond all illusions and remains an integral part of my essence.
Oh, nice. So I want to summarize that in one paragraph. There we go, got the key message.
As a learner and teacher of perfect love, I perceive myself as spirit, not bound by the body, pure formless awareness. Not bound by the body. My journey reflects a shift from fear to love, recognizing the body as a tool for communicating divine truth and unity, transcending the illusions of separation and sickness.
Yeah, let's just change that as what is a tool for communicating divine truth and unity, sending illusions. That help me and others transcend the illusions of separation and sickness. So just read it again from the top. Made a couple of edits there.
As a learner and teacher of perfect love, I perceive myself as pure formless awareness and not limited by my body. My journey reflects a shift from fear to love, as I recognize the body as a tool for communicating truth and unity that help me and others transcend the illusions of separation and sickness.
Now, so in your own words, summary of this, what's the key point of this section?
Well, this journey we are on is the body is purely a tool for us all to communicate with the truth of oneness and to transcend all our dreams and illusions from the sickness and separation that the dream holds.
Yeah, and the body is just a useful tool.
Yeah, we're not limited.
Helping us do that. So if you perceive it that way, then all of the illusions of body identification and a lot of the suffering and the pain and identification with aging and sickness and death and fear of that, it just drops away. You're like, well, I'm not a body. Thank God for that. So yeah, the body in the end will expire. It's not going to last. But while I'm here, I use it for what it's for, which is to communicate the truth. And when time is done, when my time here is done, and I'll be told, and I'll let it go and transcend it. And so, what's the drama? Why am I fearing anything? Why am I desiring anything? Why am I fearing anything? It's all fine. That's the enlightened attitude to the body, which he's pointing us to in this section. And it's essential if you're going to become a teacher of perfect love. A teacher of perfect love can't be attached to his or her body by definition, because then they're not in the pure formless awareness of perfect love. They're in body awareness. They can't teach that which they don't know themselves. So it's essential that they, perceive it correctly. I've just had an injury, and I'm just going, well, okay, that's the body. That needs to be looked after, taken care of. Had it dressed, but I am not the injury. I am not really affected by this. It's just like this vehicle I'm driving has been temporarily damaged. So, okay, it needs to be patched up. But that's not me. That's the key point. It's not really me. So I can look on it with detachment, not get attached to it, and so identified with it that I suffer. So all that, you get an injury. Well, physical pain isn't really suffering. It's just a sensation in the body. Suffering comes when you make it in to something that now can cause you mental and emotional pain. That's when it becomes suffering. Oh, now I'm depressed because I can't walk properly. I can't exercise properly. Why did this happen to me? I was so stupid. I blame myself. All of that. That's suffering, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, just do what needs to be done, but in a clear, calm way, without any attachment to it. So, the enlightened beings of this world, they wander around. You wouldn't know them necessarily. They just seem to be normal. They go and they might do very normal things. They might go visit the doctor, as I did today, or go shopping, or make phone calls, or run businesses, or have families, or do all the things normal people do, but they perceive it differently. There's no longer an attachment to any of those forms, the activities, their roles. They're not attached to any of it. They just realize that they're a dreamer in a dream world, and they're able to transcend the dream. All right. So yeah, anything else? Any other thoughts, questions, comments on that?
No, that's very clear. Good session. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Very
Practice
clear.
makes perfect.
Yeah, you're a teacher of perfect love, and that doesn't mean you're perfect yet, but it means you're in training.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, well, I mean, so who is? We all make mistakes, and you have times where you go, am I really even getting this? And you do. But if you're consistent, the teacher of perfect love is that teacher who is a consistently staying in this teaching, saying, okay, I'm not going to waver and go, off somewhere else. You're dedicated to this teaching and this path, and keep coming back to it. If you get confused, return to the teaching, and there's clarity there. There's always a clarification.
Yeah.
If you return to the teaching, you can't be lost for too long, because actually it's very comprehensive. It addresses any question you have, pretty much is answered in the course. Even the question, difficult questions like, well, why did the illusion happen? How could an illusion happen? How could separation happen if there's only unity? These are the questions the ego asks. Even addresses those questions by really saying, well, just don't keep asking these questions, because in the end, it's an experience that's going to teach you that this is true. But only your own experience can do that. So think remember that whatever you need to learn, you teach. You teach what you need to learn. So one of the best ways of learning is teaching. Definitely accelerates your learning journey. I know that from personal experience because I've taught this course for thousands of hours now, and there's no doubt that it helps you learn it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
If I wasn't teaching it, would I be spending all this time reading it, going through it, patient? No, I mean, just read it, go, okay, kind of get that, put it away, read this section in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, done, which is what most people do. But if you teach it, then you have to, it's another level.
Deeper, yeah.
Deeper, more time, etc. So, okay, shall we leave it there, Lane?
Yeah, excellent.
So tomorrow I'm gonna run an afternoon session. John said he could join, so join us. Right. If you can, anytime from 12:30. And then Wednesday we'll do an evening.
Okay, yeah. I might, because I've got a massage at 1, and that's an hour and a half. I'm doing a special. Then I've got Dave to pick up, so I'm going to be struggling probably tomorrow. But if I can, I'll join or I'll listen in. Yeah.
All right.
That's great. Okay, thanks very much.
You otherwise Wednesday evening.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Right,
bye. Namaste.
Right. Namaste. Okay, so that's a wrap for tonight. Thank you to Elaine for joining. If you enjoyed the session and you watch this on the live stream or you watch it recording, and do join us for one of these live calls. Running a masterclass in early January, so go to theaolg.com. That's theaolg.com. Find out more about it. There's a link below in the YouTube text box. This video, if you're watching this video on YouTube, which will show you, we'll show you the link so you can click that. And you can also sign up to receive what I showed you in the email every day via Telegram. Go to lifebull.com to do that. And finally, if you're not already a subscriber to the channel, then hit the subscribe button and you'll get notified whenever I go live, and be able to watch these sessions on a live stream. I do it 6 days a week. So, and there's more videos on upload next year. There's some very exciting stuff that's going to grow this community. So do subscribe to stay informed, and join us in the masterclass soon. Okay, so thanks for watching and listening. Hope to catch you on the inside soon. Namaste. This means the true self, that's a teacher of perfect love, and me acknowledges and honors that same true self. There's also a teacher of perfect love. Function we share, no matter what our personal identities and bodies look like. It's the one function we truly share. So I honor you in that spirit, in that function. Namaste. Peace.